I'm really not a fan of being a public-facing figure by any means, but the idea that I want to discuss, I feel like, is beneficial to artists. So what's up? My name is Isaac. I'm the director of distribution for Boost Collective. It feels so weird to me talking to a camera. I actually have an actual camera I purchased, but I'm still just using my webcam because honestly I just cannot be bothered taking this too seriously because I am not that guy. I am not the one here to sell you something. I'm not the one who claims to have all the answers. I am also just an artist myself, which is why I've made the decision to be public facing with Boost under my personal independent artist name, Full Circle Avenue. So without any more fluff, let's get into what I even want to talk about. And yes, I am using a background from the remastered Oblivion. It's what I wanted to do. It's my channel, so I'm going to do what I want to do. So I've been spending a lot of time looking at the data coming in from my music. And I had an interesting realization, which is that it wasn't that difficult for me to get to around 10,000 monthly listeners, the vast majority of it being from Boost Collective promotion, oddly enough. So my first thought was, okay, so let's turn that 10,000 into 20,000, and then the 20,000 into 40,000, get myself up to 100,000 monthly listeners. It's not that simple. I've noticed this in the past. It's really easy to get a song, for example, 1,000 streams. Getting a song 100,000 streams is a bit more of an undertaking. You can't just keep stacking the same method over and over and over and over again. You usually have to be a bit more objective and make some tweaks. That's why I got to thinking, if it was relatively easy to get to 10,000 monthly listeners, why not create a second artist, a completely anonymous page with my personal ideas, stuff that I'm not telling my friends about, I'm not telling my family about, I'm not even telling the guys I work with about. Can I get that second page to 10,000 monthly listeners too? What am I going to learn from the songs that I promote on this page 100% anonymously? We're talking, I'm not going to worry about making content. I'm not going to worry about building my brand. I personally don't like doing that. And I know for a fact that there are other artists out there who feel the same way. But here's the thing. If I can get that page to 10,000 monthly listeners too, I'm going to utilize the tools at my disposal as a distributor to merge that page, the followers, the algorithmic traction, the stream counts, everything into my personal page. Now, this is not a gate-kept thing. If you release with us, you can even ask for me by name and I will help you do this as well. And we do not charge people for this. But first and foremost, does it even work? So that is the question that we're going to begin answering today. I have one song out under this page now. I have not begun any type of promotion. I'm not going to be telling you the name. I don't want anyone botting it or judging it based on the quality. The music is admittedly not even very good because I did not want to put a ton of time into tracks that would otherwise be better suited as a public release under my main page. The point of this is to see what can I do with weekly uploads. I have 7 songs set to release 1 week after the other. I'm going to be doing pro campaigns with us at Boost for each one. So those last for roughly 3 weeks or so. And then I'm going to be stacking the promotion on top of them as they keep coming out. Now, once all 7 songs are done, I'm going to be taking a look at what the stream decay rate is, how many streams I'm getting after the promotion has completely ended, full stop. And then we're going to evaluate what that can do for me by merging all of that data into my main page. So one of the first questions, obviously, is can we get it to 10,000 monthly listeners with this method? The second, what does it do for me after the promotion has ended? Because this is something that I've noticed that artists do not tend to look at. You buy promotion or you do promotion on your own, and then in the month that you spent your money, you're looking at your return before royalties have even reported yet. I don't understand the thinking behind that. If it takes 3 months for us to see the royalties that we've got coming in, you literally cannot begin calculating ROI. In that time period that you've been waiting 3 months, there are additional months that you then have to wait for to get your payments to see where you even stand. Lastly, it is a question of catalog power. How many streams are you getting when you're not paying a dime that ultimately over the course of a year or 2 years are stacking up in your favor, incorporating into that ROI? The third one is, will I see an increase in radio plays or Discover Weekly Will my next release, from any followers I get a better release radar push? Is this a method that indie artists can use to build their personal page up? And if you think about it this way, right, it's kind of a question of math. If I have one song and I'm able to get it to 1,000 streams in the first month, which is a relatively realistic goal, it's a lot harder when you're releasing once a week, once every 2 weeks, maybe once a month. I don't know what most people tend to do, but there is a clear limit before you're basically spamming your own personal page and flooding your own page with sounds. There's also a realistic limit to what most people can afford to promote. If you release 10 songs in a week, you're probably not going to put $150 into each one. So the goal here is to see if I'm releasing, let's just say, one song a week on my personal page, and I'm promoting it how I can promote. If I have a completely separate page, I'm now releasing 2 songs a week. No one knows this yet. That's the trick here. Can we then take that data, merge it into the one page as if they've always been that page, and then compound our growth over time without having to really change our effort? And the beautiful thing about this for me is that if this flops completely, then it does not have to be associated with me publicly, and I learn that style that I went after just might not be the right fit for me. So this is a pretty basic part 1 in a series, but I'm very curious to see what this can do for people. And honestly, selfishly myself, I want to see, can I rinse and repeat this method and kind of force myself to get 100,000 monthly listeners? Because if so, that would be pretty cool. And it would be a pretty affordable way to do it, and a pretty fun way to do it, because that's my favorite thing about releasing music to a ghost artist page. You don't have to think about people's opinion. No one knows who you are. No one knows you're behind it. Any judgment put on it is literally not about you, because no one knows it's you. And you can kind of tap into that free-spirited fun that music is really about. With all that being said, again, apologies for the low-quality video, but I'm curious to see how this plays out, and I'd love to know anybody's thoughts on it.